Okay, I'd like to express my, special thanks to, invite very distinguished speakers in this field from abroad and also domestics for this Seoul waste energy the session for circular economy. Okay, I'd like to introduce some of the history in Korea associated with waste energy, but I'll cover a little bit of the history of whole waste management as well. Okay, I might have to skip this one. This is very much principle how to manage the waste in a sound manner. So you have a priority of the waste management practices or options from source reductions and much recycling. And then we have to combust to recover the energy. And then we should be reached to the zero in landfill. That's been emphasized by Dr. Bauer already. So we have to follow this principle. The reason why I'm introducing these principles in Korea, this is the legal history of Korea. And here you see the waste management law, which was enforced into 1986. At the time, the country put this kind of principles, waste management principles, so-called integrated waste management. So it has a priority, as I already introduced, and also all the practices, options must be, very much vital and complementary use. So the option could not be missing. So after then we follow that principle, and also by the law we installed many incinerators to recover the energy. Of course, at the same time we put a lot of efforts to reduce the generation and recycling the increased. And then after then maybe that this basic law was amended several times, but the concept was to reduce as much as the waste and also recycling more. As we believe that waste is supposed to be resources. So many laws were added into this waste management law. And very recently in 2018, we had another very much important law. Is a Frame Act on the Resource Circulation. Is to go to circular economy. Okay, they want several I might say effective major policies or system by such laws. Those laws. Maybe one could be that we apply the polluter payment concept. So waste, something like waste is a resource, and one of the implemented system or the policy was the volume rate garbage disposal system, something like I might say the volume-based tipping system in 1995. And also by the same concept, the EPR was applied in industrial waste items. Maybe in today's conference and ISEE conference was talking about this kind of EPR system. So by implementing such systems, we got reduced the waste as well as we recycled pretty much high rate. So this is some introducing EPR system, but I'm not going to introduce in detail. But they made a lot of the waste recycled. Okay, I'll move to the waste energy issues, and this is just showing the history. I'm not going to tell all of this, but as I showed in the the legal history. So a lot of system or policy has been applied. The one of them could be the incineration priority policy. Not actually incineration shouldn't be the priority, but after we put a lot of efforts to recycling, and then next step we should apply the waste energy technologies. So maybe 1990s, it was a big movement, big step, jumping steps to install many incinerators that time, 90 to 2005. At the same time, actually, we didn't have any sanitary landfill before then, but all the sanitary landfill has been constructed around this time. And then while we do operate incineration plants, a lot of air emissions, such dioxins and fine particulates, other acid, the gases was pretty much give some threat to the people. So that's why the many laws, actually emission, the regulation standard has been changed. And then I covered mainly the technology was combustion, incineration, and also later on we had some policy or strategies to use RDF or so-called SRF. So those two technologies are main, just like as Japan has a main technology with incinerators. So this is the history of the constructing those incinerators. As I said earlier, in 90 to 2005, most of the commercial big incinerator were constructed, especially for household waste. So maybe a big, more than 100 tons per day unit, around 60 units, 60 plants, including small one in the local areas, maybe around 300 facilities are in operation now. I'm not going to tell all of this, but through those plants, we are now treating 17,000 tons per day, and also some different types of the thermal treatment technology was also applied. And I'd like to point out what is the situation now. But most of those technologies are coming from outside. It's foreign technologies. We pay royalties, and also this was built in 1990s, or it's the time is coming for replacing. So that is another issue coming. And also we have to, at the time, we just use this as an incinerator, just volume reductions, weight reductions, not recovering that much of energy. That's one of the things we have to consider. And also maybe in the future, maybe you have to apply CCU, just like the Japan is doing now. And this is the SRF, okay, RDF. So RDF, I must say, strategies or plan was started 2008, around 10, 15 years later. So the most of the combustible waste, which was landfilled at the time, the governments tried to put the SRF and manufacturing plant to use those SRF as a fuel in other sectors, or we can burning them to recover the electricities or heat. So the plan was started 2010. After then, we have around maybe 10, 15 big units are in operation now. Also, these are the power generation facilities after making SRF. Okay, everybody is concerning, especially the publics. They're worrying about emission. How is the emission on those plants? So this is just to summarize the figure. So as you see in here, acid gases. This red line is standard, and then maybe 5 times less or almost nothing here. And CO maybe 20–30% of the standard, and OHC is almost nothing, and dust is also. So I might say all the air pollution, the pollutants should be well controlled away from the standard. And also these are dioxins. So I think Dr. Professor Chang will take these issues more, but dioxins, the standard is 0.1 nanogram TQ, but the level is like maybe 50-100 times less or even more. Okay, I'll just touch on the little bit on the new technology, so-called gasification. But I'm not going to cover all this, but still in the demonstration scale in the research level. So maybe the reason why we can go to the commercial base, it could be the high cost, not that much feasible as the economic, and also, but some benefit could be it can contribute to the hydrogen economy and carbon reductions. So it could be commercialized or more developed in the future, but still the demonstration level. I think the big unit is 8 tons per day for especially the domestic household waste. And this is the pyrolysis technology. The same again is not economically feasible, and also it can go up to some of the scale of plant. So maybe 10 tons per day unit is available as a research and pilot scale. Okay, those are the technology, the WT technology history and the situation at this time. But I would like to a little bit touch on the waste management, total waste management, how we moved from 1982 till now. So in 1982, 96% of the waste are landfill, but not sanitary. It's just dumping. But it has been going down up to now less than maybe 15%, around 15%. These are household waste cases, I guess. Yes. So around this time, when a lot of incinerators were constructed, sanitary landfill was also applied. So this time, maybe 90 till 2005, maybe our waste management history is more like the revolution, I guess. So the many incinerator was built, and also sanitary landfill was constructed. So see here, of course, at the same time, those law and system has been changed to promote recycle. So see here, about 60% of the waste, household waste, is recycled. So dramatically changing. And then in the recent years, we have about 15% of the landfill and 24.5% incinerating, and then the 60% of the waste is now recycled. Just my curiosity, I tried to calculate how much carbon the CO2 has been reduced by changing in history. So see here, a lot of landfill. Yeah, of course. I don't know. I might have to compare this number with the Dr. Bauer's one. It could be the similar or not. Anyway, I just quoted some utilized US EPA programs. Not much detail, but so roughly. And then let's see here, about 25,000 tons of CO2 were, emitted because of the landfill is the main this time. And then, of course, recycling. This green line. The recycling will give a lot, carbon dioxide reduction. So see here. And then these are incinerators. Incinerators again emit some of the CO2 because we are burning. So this violet line shows the net of the CO2 emission by years, with applying adopting such practices, options. So as I believe, around 10,000 metric ton of day CO2 emission is equivalent to the one commercial, the fossil fuel power plants, like 600 megawatt or 1,000 megawatt. So by these activities in history, we can reduce around maybe 7 the commercial, the fossil fuel power plants, the emissions, they reduce. Okay, I have to skip this one. We believe, with this the activities we can, get a beneficial with the circular economy and also carbon neutralities. And also nowadays another issue is the circular economy, right? Skip this one. In 2018, as I shown in our legislation chart by history, see, we, zero landfill is one of the targets, and also maximizing recycling. But the reason why I'm showing this one is, but after, very recent years, like last maybe 5-10 years, we don't have any activities that much on the waste energy sectors. Of course, there are a lot of this kind of the policies or the law changes by the government. But I believe they are not, maybe in the political peoples or even the governments, they are not that much clear in recognizing the role of waste energy. Even though we are the emphasizing on the recycling as much as possible. So I quote this figure from this guy, Ellen MacArthur Foundation, to introduce the circular economy. Yeah, we have to do a lot of activities for recycling. This is like a butterfly fly, is, both sides. Yeah, we have to do that. But in this figure, there is a tails right here, the butterfly tails. Okay, she says, this called leakage. Is maybe energy recovery part. So that has to be minimized, of course, by using a lot of recycling technologies, biological technologies. And then it has to be energy recovery. So in this chart, circular economy, even that includes waste energy. It should be there, okay? But if we ignore this, the role or contribution of this one, maybe I say here's a leakage managers fail, and then maybe waste crisis could be happen. So in 2018, even that law has been established and enforced, but at the same time, we have a lot of waste crisis, such as in the Korean people may know the waste mountains. Also, we cannot export to the waste. Some of the waste is exported, but it has been came back. Such kind of things happen. Also, the reason I'm showing this figure is still energy recovery is important, okay, even though we do recycle as much as possible. Yeah, this is I'm showing again the same pictures. So we did some input the policies for installing incinerator and also SRF strategies. But very recent years, maybe we can see some of the regression in waste energy. So no more plants is construction because of the some policies discontinued and also public objections, and so it's very much ignored the role of WTE. So to become a circular economy society, yeah, the WTE must be recognized and considered as one of the tools or options to achieve circular economy and also the carbon reductions, carbon neutrality. So even our audit office, the National Audit Office, they pointed out, okay, this is the problem. The policy must continue to promote SRF or incinerators or whatever. So I worked for some of the activities to shout to the governments maybe. So okay, we should recognize the stability as one of the roles in circular economies. And then This is a situation, as I already introduced. Okay, in household waste cases, maybe still 14% are dumping into the landfill. That has to be treated somehow. But already governments put some of the policies several years back. The landfill ban. Okay, those even 14% of household waste, which is now landfill, it should be banned by the year 2030, and also in the Seoul metropolitan area, it shouldn't go to the existing landfill site by year 2026. So that means what? Seoul and other cities across the country, we have to construct more incinerator, this much portion, 14% of the total household waste. So yeah, I'd like to conclude my speech. So yeah, for zero landfills or even circular economy and carbon neutrality, still we have to recognize the WTE adoption. So incineration, SRF. I'm not talking about any specific technology, but incineration is major. But with high energy recovery, that should be done for achieving the circular economy. Okay, I'd like to summarize with the issue and future direction in this waste energy. Maybe we have to recognize the role of waste energy with optimal after maximizing recycling is essential to achieve zero landfill and circular economy and carbon reduction. Also avoid waste crisis or waste busting. And low landfill without pre-treatment is after 2000, we cannot treat the landfill without treatment. Treatment means waste energy, technologies, utilization. And also, we have to provide some replacement technologies or adoption for aged incineration plant. It's over 30 years now. So the local area, including Seoul cities, should be installed many incinerators to treat such 15% of the waste, which is now landfill by 2015, 2025 or 2030. So the government must be put some support the policies on that. Also, public understanding is much difficult. So as you may know, several cities now starting to plan and citing this area as objections by the people. So we should let them understand how has been operated up to now, and also the needs of such the plants. Also, maybe in the future, maybe CCUS, another new technology could be applied. And also, as I mentioned earlier, so we do not have any domestic technologies, so imported technology. So we have to develop our own technology as well. Okay, thank you for attending.